The following program is a paid advertisement for Schecter Dental, brought to you by Team Slee Advertising. The Health Hour Show with your host, Doug Stevenson.
Hi, and welcome to the Health Hour Show. I'm your host, Doug Stevenson. On today's show, I'm talking with Dr. Ira and Dr. Michael Schecter of Schecter Dental in Toronto. Thanks so much for being here.
How you doing?
Thank you.
Now, you've been featured previously on other health interview shows discussing holistic dentistry, implant dentistry, and comprehensive dentistry. But I think people want to know a little more about what goes on at Schecter Dental. So, Dr. Ira, can you elaborate a little bit more about what's so unique about Schecter Dental?
Well, I think that really what it is an expression of my own vision of providing a dental experience for our patients. I had decided very early in my career that I wanted to give my patients what I would want if I was the patient.
Okay.
And specifically, what I really didn't want to do was just compartmentalize treatment. In school, we learn all these different modalities, all these different treatments, all these different techniques, technologies, and we're really trained to provide very basic general dentistry, and everything else becomes a specialized treatment that gets referred out. And I felt very early on in the career that that wasn't what I would want as a patient, that I'd want to be able to develop a relationship with one practitioner, develop trust, faith in that practitioner, and be able to go to that dental office and have whatever I needed done under one roof. Mm-hmm. And really that's what I've tried to do over the years. Take advantage of technology, take advantage of all the modern changes in dentistry, in what the profession offers, and be able to incorporate that into the practice. And obviously, you know, implant dentistry has become a big part of it, but there's been so many other things that have come along.
And it's really neat now to see people grow in the practice. And we have families that multi-generational families, really. We have grandparents, parents, children, grandchildren, and everyone kind of stays with it, and it's that nice family feel of the practice.
Of course, it makes me feel older, but...
And Dr. Michael, I understand, you know, when your father brought you into the practice, you brought a whole new side of dentistry in. And one of the things you specialize in is chair-side microscopy. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, it really comes to the new patient exam and how we're following patients. And we're trying to individualize treatment, individualize how we're approaching our patients and how we're targeting disease. And people come in, they have different problems, they have pain, they have aesthetic concerns, they have broken teeth. And what we're trying to do is, of course, address those issues, but then also get to the root source of the problem.
Okay.
What's going on? Are there different microbes that are causing problems? Is there acidity and inflammation? And we do a full workup on them. And a part of that workup is this microscopic analysis.
Okay.
I think, Doug, the important thing for everyone to understand is this is no different than having a dental x-ray as part of your diagnostic tools. Mm-hmm. We take dental x-rays because we can't see what we don't see. We can't see under the gums. We can't see within the teeth. All we can see when we look in the mouth is what's staring at us. And it's the same thing with the bacterial population mouth. Almost every disease or everything's wrong in the mouth, whether it's tooth decay or gum disease, it's all related to microbial activity or bacteria. Okay. And without having a diagnostic tool to assess what's going on, we're working blind.
Okay. Well, the Health Hour actually went into Schecter Dental and got some video of the chair-side microscopy. So let's take a look at that.
In our new patient exam, we do a plaque analysis. We do a microscopic analysis where we take a sample of a patient's plaque, we look at it under the microscope, and we get an idea of what's going on under there. Is there fungus, bacteria, parasites, more inflammation? We assess a patient's acidity, alkalinity levels, and we try to understand from a diet perspective, from a life balance perspective, why are they having decay, why are they losing teeth? But the idea is to understand what the source of the problem is and to target that source.
Welcome back to the Health Hour. Now, when we were taking a look at that footage, I thought to myself, it must be really neat, you know, when the patients are in at Schecter Dental, to be able to see what you find in their mouths from that.
Well, with that patient in particular, we were able to understand why he was losing teeth, why he had such gum disease. We found fungus under the gums, we found a lot of inflammation under the gums.
Okay. And
he went through this whole workup where he identified why he was having inflammation. He was very acidic in his body. He worked on his nutrition. We got rid of the candida in the mouth through our active perio program in the office. And he worked with his primary medical practitioner to help get rid of all the disease in his body.
Okay.
And this is really a way that we can help set up the foundation, especially when someone comes in with a very broken down mouth.
So I'm learning really early on that it's obviously a very complex process having a patient in. So can you, Dr. Ira, talk a little bit about the framework that you use at Schecter Dental?
Sure. Well, I think that the important thing to remember is that patients usually come in with a specific problem. So that problem has to be addressed right from the beginning, whether it's pain, infection, something broken. We can't leave patients walking out the door with the same problem that they came in. The issue is about the solution. And before we're going to advocate a specific solution for that problem, what we want to do is do a total assessment of the mouth and make a comprehensive plan.
Okay. And now, over the break, you were telling me about a patient you had, Suzanne. Can you talk about her comprehensive plan?
Suzanne is a perfect example of what I'm referencing, because Suzanne had been going to a dentist forever and ever, and she was happy with the dentist, and the dentist was treating each of her individual problems as they appeared. But unfortunately, there wasn't a comprehensive treatment program developed. Everything was sort of what you'd call band-aided.
Okay.
And what would happen is one problem would develop, it would mushroom, and she'd end up losing a tooth or losing more teeth. And so the patient was spending a lot of time, probably a lot of money, a lot of energy, and everybody was getting frustrated. So she was referred to me, and as I said, we did a total workup of the patient. We looked at each and every tooth, or whichever teeth were left, and we developed a plan to either save teeth, extract those teeth that we felt wouldn't be salvageable, and made sure that whatever we would do would be comprehensive in nature and long-lasting. Because really, for the patient's benefit, it is so important that if they're going to spend the time and the money, they do it once. And we don't want them to have to keep on coming back over and over again to deal or address the same problems.
Okay. Well, we actually have some video footage of Suzanne as well with her experience at Schecter Dental. So let's take a look at that.
My name is Suzanne Young, and I've been a patient at Schecter Dental for about 15 years. My experiences at Schecter Dental have been very positive. I have had a lot of issues in my mouth. I've had root canals, I've had bridges, I've had crowns, and I've had dental implants. I think when there are issues in your mouth, you're worried about whether you're biting into an apple or chewing on a carrot, and I don't have any of those concerns anymore. As a result of the work that I've had done here at Schecter Dental, I am confident in my smile. I would definitely recommend others to Schecter Dental, and I have already recommended my son and my sister, who are now patients here. Both Dr. Ira and Dr. Michael are knowledgeable, capable, skilled, and they are both always in learning mode, looking at what's new and most progressive in dentistry today.
This is a paid advertisement for Schecter Dental.
Welcome back to the Health Hour Show. I'm your host, Doug Stevenson. You know, it was really something to look at the before and after photos of Suzanne. I mean, you could see such a difference.
It's very gratifying. As a practitioner, we want to make our patients happy, but we also want to see functional aesthetic improvement that's going to be for the long term. And I think that Suzanne just exemplifies it perfectly. I'm known as an implant dentist, but I only used implants selectively where needed to replace missing teeth or to replace teeth that I deemed to be, as I said earlier, not salvageable. And that if we would have tried to keep teeth that aren't good for the long term, it would have probably compromised the case. So when you look at her now and look at her smile with the confidence and the security she has, that's great. That's what makes the job really worthwhile.
Oh, nice. And one of the things you mentioned about, you know, Schecter Dental being so unique is having alternative approaches to different problems. And Dr. Michael, will you tell me a little bit about, you know, a patient who has a similar problem, but you took an alternative approach?
So you have to understand, I mean, our approach to each patient is the same. It's all about offering people choice. So some people want a complete pharmacological approach, that's fine, a conventional approach. Some people want a complete holistic approach. Most people fall somewhere in the middle. It's all about reducing invasiveness, reducing toxicity. And so Sante came into the office, he had a broken down mouth, he had trouble chewing, he had trouble eating, he wasn't well. And you'll hear from him himself that since we went through treatment, he's actually feeling much better.
Really?
His memory is back, his energy is back. The disease that's in the mouth doesn't just stay in the mouth, it travels to the rest of the body.
Okay.
So Sante is someone who came in and he didn't want to take the conventional approach. He doesn't like to use pharmaceuticals. And so we did a very similar thing using homeopathic remedies, natural rinses. And we actually have this great product in the office. And we are developing this whole line of products where they're natural products, natural rinses, with none of the side effects of the chemical products. And this is our post-surgical rinse.
Okay, what's in that?
There's different herbs in there. There's CoQ10 in here, there's echinacea, tea tree, and it works great. Patients heal well, they heal quickly. It doesn't leave the same aftertaste, it doesn't burn your taste buds, it doesn't stain your teeth, and we've gotten a great response from it.
It's important to understand that we don't advocate things that we don't test. So having the microscope in the office allows us the ability to take the rinse and take a droplet of it, let's say, and apply it to a slide of known bacteria and see the effect of what it can do to the bacteria that's on the slide. And only when we're proven ourselves that this works will we allow it to be introduced to our patient population.
Okay, and this is something you did with Sante?
Yeah, so Sante came into the office and we did the full workup on him. We did the plaque analysis, we did the pH testing, we got him healthy before we started doing any of the surgery work. And we ended up taking out a lot of his teeth. He has 10 implants on the top, 6 implants on the bottom. We basically restored his whole mouth, and we did it with complete natural products, pure titanium implants, all ceramic crowns on top, and he's really comfortable, he'll tell you himself.
Oh, right on. Well, let's have a look at Sante's footage to see what he had to say about his experience at Schecter Dental.
My name is Sante, and I've been a patient of Dr. Michael for about 3 years. I chose to rehabilitate my mouth here because I needed it done. I couldn't eat anymore, my teeth were bad shape, and I was told that I could get the results I wanted here. I remember when he removed those teeth out, that the darkness of the teeth, the mercury amalgams that were in there, and I know that that's not in there anymore, and I just feel a lot better. I'm sure that it has improved my health a lot. Since I've had my teeth done by Dr. Michael, I've noticed that my memory seems to have improved. I know it sounds kind of silly, but it really does seem to me that my memory is better. I feel natural now. I can smile again, Before I was trying to hide my smile because I had teeth missing, and I'm very happy with what he's done.
Welcome back to the Health Hour Show. We're watching that footage of Sante, and I'm blown away by how his memory was improved.
Yeah, it's really amazing. You have to appreciate the interaction between the healthier mouth and the healthier body. And it's been proven that inflammation in the mouth, disease in the mouth, is a risk factor for heart disease, cancer, diabetes, osteoporosis. And it's all about minimizing disease, optimizing health. And Sante's a guy, he came in, he was unhealthy, we got him healthy, and he came in with no teeth, and he left with teeth.
Like in the same day?
Pretty close.
Really? How was that possible?
Well, actually, I think the last piece in the puzzle for me of being able to provide this comprehensive treatment to our patients was to bring an in-house dental laboratory managed by a registered dental technologist into our office. And it just makes life so much easier for us, and it's just so much better for the patients. We can provide same-day repairs. We can provide actually same-day implant restorations. And this is really unique. You talked in the beginning about what's unique at Schecter Dental. Well, if I only talked about implant dentistry, which has been a passion of mine now for over 25 years, is that we can take out a broken tooth, extract it carefully, place a dental implant, assess the stability of the implant, and then make an immediate temporary solution for the patient so they walk out actually in a better dental situation than when they came in.
And we did that for Sante, full mouth. He came in, we took everything out, we put implants in, temporary on, and he walked out with a full implant supported temporary across his whole upper jaw.
So having a lab, is that common?
It actually isn't. It's not something that's really affordable by most dental offices. And I really could only manage to do this once I had Michael join me in practice as a full-time practitioner so that it made sense. And really, having the dental technologist on board with us, Jason specifically, who is very experienced, gives us also the added advantage of ensuring that our dreams for providing patients restorations meets the technological ramifications or limitations. So really, I can develop all kinds of schemes and game plans for my patients, but sometimes I'll overstretch the envelope of technology. So I need to have that expertise there to say to me, whoa, whoa, whoa. You may need to put an extra implant in, or you may need to space your implants differently, or you may need to think about doing things in a different manner. having him there for the patient's benefit is just immeasurable. For example, as Michael said, he did it with Sante. I just did it last week. I had a patient who came in who had many broken teeth, had teeth that were lost, he had missing spaces, and we had to put in 14 dental implants in one sitting. Wow. I started at 9 o'clock. I finished the surgery at 2 o'clock. We took a break. The gentleman had some post-surgical nutrition, and Jason went to work. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the man walked out with a full set of temporary teeth.
No way.
And I have to tell you that as a practitioner and as dentists in this community or in any community, I'm really proud of that service that we can offer the public.
Huh. And we talked a little bit during the break about taking, you know, comprehensive rehabilitation, but a holistic approach where aesthetics are still key. Do you want to speak to that as well?
Well, again, we've invited a couple of patients to present themselves as demonstrations to illustrate this. But there's two patients who you're going to meet. One is Fern and one is Alina, who are both very, very cognizant of the type of materials that were used, the type of medicaments that would be needed, and who had multiple problems. Fern had a comprehensive need for an aesthetic revival, if you want to call it, but at the same time, she had some very, very pronounced functional deficiencies going on in her mouth, and we had to build that foundation first before we could address the cosmetic demands that she had placed upon us. Alina, who's a lot younger, who is very concerned about her appearance and her cosmetics, also at a very young age was experiencing some severe bite collapse at the back, some very pronounced attrition of her teeth or wear of her teeth, headaches, tooth sensitivity, and really we had to do our best to address all of that first so we could get her comfortable. Then we could go ahead and address her cosmetic changeover or makeover of the front of her mouth and give her the smile that she demanded. And I think if you look at the footage, you're going to be able to see the very distinct end result.
Okay, well, let's take a look at that footage of Fern and Alina.
My name is Fern Morrison, and I've been coming to Schecter Dental since 1999. Some of the treatment procedures I've had are veneers on my front teeth, dental implants, crowns, root canal, fillings, and cleaning. When there were pictures being taken of me, I refused to show my teeth. And since having some work done by Dr. Schecter, it's very easy for me to smile. People comment on my beautiful smile, and I tell them they can have it too if they come to Dr. Schecter's office.
Hi, my name is Alina, and I've been a patient with Schecter Dental for over 20 years. What I look for when looking for a dental professional is someone who is thorough, someone who takes personal interest in the care of my teeth, and someone who is up to date with the latest technologies. The procedures I've had at Schecter Dental in the past 20 years range from cleanings, root canals, implants, and cosmetic surgery. I am able to now eat or drink anything I want. I don't have sensitivity, and I get stopped on a weekly basis with people complimenting me how beautiful my smile is. I would recommend my friends and family to Schecter Dental. As a matter of fact, we all have been coming here for over 20 years.
This is a paid advertisement for Schecter Dental.
Welcome back to the Health Hour Show. I'm your host, Doug Stevenson. You know, one of the things I keep thinking when we look at all this footage is how amazing the smiles are, which I guess is, you know, very representative of how Schecter Dental is a leader in the dental community.
Well, we try to be, but I think it's important to understand that it doesn't come easily and doesn't come lightly. I have made a very sincere, strong commitment to continuing education for myself, for my staff, and Michael as well has followed now in that suit. We have to stay on top of new technology, new techniques. There isn't a thing I'm doing in practice today that's the same as what I was taught in dental school. And for sure dental implants, because dental implants was introduced to the marketplace after I graduated. It was something that I went to a exploratory lecture, got wowed, and decided this is something I want to do for my patients. And I've grown with it. I've invested a lot of time and energy and money into developing the skill technique and the proper equipment and technology to be able to give patients a predictable long-term success.
Now you're at the point where you're actually lecturing on these dental implants.
Well, it's part of our obligation to the community. I think that I've never forgotten all those wonderful mentors who helped me, who shared their experiences with me. And now I've had the opportunity to do the same for other dentists across Canada, the United States, actually around the world. Been to India, Russia, the Ukraine, Israel, and it's great. It's a very gratifying feeling to be able to share your experiences and hopefully have an impact on others, that they can in turn deliver that knowledge to their patient base and give everybody in the public a better dental experience.
Okay. And one of the things that you mentioned to me off camera is that you're also kind of going beyond the scope of dentistry and bringing in a nutritionist. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, I mean, we're really just trying to do everything we can to optimize our patients' health, to keep our patients comfortable. And, you know, we brought digital x-rays into the office. They're 50 to 90% less radiation than standard x-rays. We don't need any of the lead or chemicals to develop them. All of our disinfectants, all of our cleaners in the office are all World Wildlife Federation approved. Okay. And we're just trying to cover every single angle. And a part of that is working with primary practitioners, people like nutritionists and naturopaths and medical doctors, to try to keep our patients healthy. Right. So Stephanie's a nutritionist that we work with. She's here with dentists to chat about their experience at the office and also what they're able to help patients with from a systemic perspective.
Stephanie was, I think, very impressed with the type of dental experience we were offering. And it mirrored or married up with her perspective on nutritional counseling.
And so it fit well. Okay.
Well, we get a lot of practitioners that come to see us. We have a lot of dentists that come to see us. We have a lot of other health practitioners that come to see us because they buy into what we're offering and they want that service themselves. So it just fits.
Well, and again, speaks to your being a leader in the dental community.
We try.
Well, let's have a look at some footage of Stephanie and Dennis to hear what they had to say.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Grills. I'm the president of Nutrition Naturally. We're a corporation that provides nutrition education programs to the corporate sector.
Hi, I'm Dennis Ramsaran. I'm Stephanie's partner of 16 years. I'm also an associate with Nutrition Naturally. What brought us to Schecter Dental is the amalgam fillings. We met with Mike and he took us through the process and we took the amalgam fillings out. And I can honestly tell you that the effects on my body are unbelievable, at least to me. Nobody can convince me today that amalgam fillings do not affect your health. I truly believe they do. After we had the amalgam fillings removed, I've definitely seen a difference in terms of my memory retention. As you can imagine, you want to get the mercury out. When you're drilling in your teeth, you don't want the mercury going back in your body. And I can definitely say that I was impressed, absolutely impressed with the process, with Michael. Right from the start to the finish, everything was explained to me. I definitely can't complain, and I would encourage anybody who wants to have their amalgam fillings removed to at least sit down with Michael and talk to him.
So that made me wonder, you know, how is life going to be without mercury, so to speak? And I can tell you that I feel much better. I do feel that it affects my moods. I feel much more even keel, so to speak, and definitely the taste and the flavor in the foods that I enjoy. So it's not just the health benefit, but also just the experience that you have living without mercury in your mouth. One thing I was really impressed about Schecter Dental was the education process that they focus on with their clients, just like a nutritionist would. A lot of the holistic health profession is just teaching people about the connections between their food and the quality of the water that they drink and their dental health. And I think that it's very rare that you can find that all connected. What people don't realize is it's not just sugar, but a lot of our foods are highly processed, such as flours and starches. And those processed foods affect the chemistry of our mouths, and they affect our digestion, as well as the health of our teeth and our gums. So there's definitely a fit for nutritionists and dentists to be working together to educate people.
This is a paid advertisement for Schecter Dental.
Welcome back to the Health Hour Show. I'm your host, Doug Stevenson. Watching that footage, I'm wondering to myself, can't any dentist just remove amalgam fillings?
Of course, right? I think the difference is that we take extreme precautions while replacing those fillings. And people come for different reasons. Some people want a material change. Oftentimes there's just decay underneath the filling and you have to replace it. So we put oxygen over the nose, we use a special suction unit. We take all of these measures to ensure that the patient isn't exposed to more mercury during the procedure.
Okay. So you have protocols in place to make sure these things don't happen.
We also safeguard the environment. We're very conscious of our responsibility to the public, and we want to make sure that we don't allow any of these contaminants to enter into the public sewer system or disposal system.
Yeah.
Well, I think a part of being comprehensive and a part of being holistic in nature is also being sensitive to the environmental footprint that you have. And it's all about reducing and recycling and trying to minimize the toxicity that we're putting out there. Keeping a small footprint, in essence.
One of the things, you know, that we've been highlighting today is obviously you deal with a lot of extreme cases. But I think we should also point out that Schecter Dental, you know, also deals with the smaller things.
Of course. I mean, listen, we want everyone to feel welcome coming into the office. And as I mentioned earlier, we treat families. So we get little children, we get adults, we get an older generation, and people come in with varying degrees of issues, and we treat everyone. We want people to feel comfortable walking into the office. And what we're trying to offer is this comprehensive approach, so people can come in and we can really tackle all of their issues. And you know, one thing that we haven't really chatted about are other issues that can go on in someone's mouth. And one thing I want to talk about, because I think it really ties the whole picture together, is sleep apnea.
Okay.
And it's a major issue that goes on. It's a real risk factor for strokes and heart disease. And the only treatment out there right now is a CPAP machine, which is a machine that goes over the mouth and blows forced air through the throat. And there's a dental appliance that we can now use for mild cases and moderate cases to help deal with the side effects or the potential issues with sleep apnea. And most dentists can make you that appliance. But what we do is we take a look at the whole picture. So the #1 risk factor for sleep apnea is a 17-inch neck.
Okay.
So you can wear all the CPAP machines in the world, you can use all the dental appliances in the world, but they're just Band-Aids for the overall issue. So what we do is we try to get our patient to work with that nutritionist, work with their doctor, work with us to reduce the risk factors in sleep apnea.
Okay, so it is, again, that comprehensive approach.
I think that you met Alina.
Yeah.
And Alina is an example of a young girl who came to me as a patient when she was 14. She had a problem, we dealt with the problem, and she's become a patient for life. And anyone's welcome to come to us. We are here to share our experiences, share our knowledge, share our perspective, and hopefully give people a choice to make their lives better, to make themselves feel better, not just dentally, and not just more dentally functional or cosmetically improved, but to give them an overall sense of better well-being.
Okay. Well, you know, this was a really neat experience. I was so happy to hear about everything that you do at Schecter Dental. Thanks so much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
That's it for us today on the Health Hour Show. I'm your host, Doug Stevenson. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Thanks again. Really appreciate it. Yeah. For more information on Schecter Dental, visit their website at schecterdental.com.
This is a paid advertisement for Schecter Dental, brought to you by Team Slee Advertising.